Have you ever noticed how some people feel more like themselves at night? Not more awake, but safer, as if something finally loosens when the world grows quiet. The lights are softer, the streets slow down, messages stop coming in, and suddenly your body exhales. For some people, nighttime isn't about darkness, it's about relief. It's the moment when expectations disappear and nothing is demanded anymore. Maybe that's you. You move through the day feeling alert, careful, aware, managing conversations, reading rooms, holding yourself together. But when night arrives, something changes. Your shoulders drop. Your thoughts soften. You don't have to perform calm. You can finally feel it. While others fear the silence, you welcome it. Because silence for you doesn't feel empty. It feels protective. Today, let's explore that. Why do some people feel emotionally safer at night? Why does the absence of noise, movement, and attention create a sense of peace instead of unease? Because feeling safe at night isn't about avoiding life. It's about what happens when stimulation fades and your nervous system is allowed to rest. At night, there are fewer eyes on you, fewer roles to play, fewer reactions to monitor, just dim light, just quiet, just space to exist without explanation. And if you've ever noticed how your mind settles after sunset, how your body feels more grounded once the world goes still, there's a reason for that. It says something important about how your system understands safety, not through connection, but through calm. To understand why some people feel safer at night, we need to look at what finally disappears when the world goes quiet. During the day, the mind is constantly scanning. Messages, expectations, faces, noise. Even when nothing is wrong, the nervous system stays alert, ready to respond, explain, adjust. But night changes the rules. At night, demands soften. There are fewer eyes watching, fewer decisions waiting, fewer roles to perform. For some people, this absence of stimulation feels like relief. Psychologically, safety isn't just about locks and lights. It's about predictability, about knowing that nothing new will suddenly be required of you. Night offers that predictability. The phone stops buzzing. The world stops asking questions. And the mind finally has permission to stand down. For people who feel deeply, think constantly, or absorb emotional signals easily, daytime can feel loud even when it looks calm. Their awareness doesn't turn off on command. So when night arrives, something shifts. The darkness reduces input. The silence lowers pressure. And the body reads that as safety. This is why some people feel more themselves after sunset. Not because they're hiding from life, but because their nervous system functions better when there's less to process. Feeling safe at night doesn't mean fearing the day. It means your mind relaxes when it no longer has to anticipate interruption. And that sense of ease isn't imagined. It's the nervous system responding to a quieter world. Of course, not everyone feels safe at night. For some people, darkness brings anxiety. Silence feels unsettling, and the lack of distraction allows worries to grow louder. But for others, night feels like relief. And the difference isn't random. It has less to do with the time of day and more to do with what the nervous system associates with safety. People who feel safest at night are often those who feel constantly observed during the day. They notice expectations. They feel watched, evaluated, or subtly demanded from, even when no one is saying anything directly. During daylight hours, the world asks for presence, productivity, responsiveness, social awareness. At night, those demands soften. There are fewer messages to answer, fewer roles to perform, fewer eyes expecting something from you. For some nervous systems, this shift is profound. Darkness creates privacy. Silence creates permission. The slowing of the world tells the body, you're allowed to rest now. There's often an emotional history behind this comfort too. People who grew up needing to stay alert during the day, emotionally, socially, or mentally, may find peace only when that vigilance is no longer required. Night becomes the first moment they don't have to manage anyone else's mood, don't have to anticipate reactions, don't have to explain themselves. But again, this isn't universal. If someone learned to associate night with unpredictability, fear, or loneliness, darkness won't feel safe at all. Neither response is wrong. They are simply reflections of how the mind learned to survive. And understanding that difference helps us stop asking, why am I like this? And start asking something kinder. What does my system need to feel at ease? There's something important to understand about why night feels safer for some people. It's not because the world suddenly becomes kinder. It's because the signals change. During the day, your nervous system is constantly scanning. Faces, sounds, expectations, micro interactions that seem small but quietly add up. Even when nothing bad is happening, your body stays alert, ready to respond, ready to adjust, ready to explain itself. But at night, much of that disappears. The volume of the world lowers. Messages stop coming in. Demands pause. And for some people, that absence is deeply regulating. Darkness reduces stimulation. Fewer visual inputs, fewer social cues to interpret, fewer chances to be misunderstood. For a sensitive or highly aware nervous system, this matters more than comfort ever could. Night doesn't ask you to be anything. It doesn't need eye contact. It doesn't require the right tone of voice. It doesn't expect productivity. That's why some people feel their shoulders drop the moment the sky gets dark, why their breathing deepens, why their thoughts finally slow instead of racing. This isn't avoidance. It's relief. Psychologically, night becomes a boundary, a clear signal that says you're allowed to stop now. And when the body receives that signal consistently, it learns something important. That safety doesn't always come from control or effort. Sometimes it comes from stillness. For people who feel safe at night, darkness isn't threatening, it's permission. Maybe feeling safe at night isn't about darkness at all. Maybe it's about permission. During the day, the world asks things from you. Attention, responses, awareness. You're seen, you're measured, you're expected to react. But at night, those demands soften. For some people, the night feels like a quiet agreement with the world, that nothing more is required right now. They don't become calmer because the problems are gone. They become calmer because the pressure to perform is gone. In the dark, there's less to prove, less to explain, less to hold together. The night gives certain minds something rare, a sense of belonging without effort. Not belonging to a place, not belonging to other people, but belonging to themselves. This is why some people think more clearly at night, why they breathe deeper, why their body finally loosens its grip. It's not because they love darkness. It's because their nervous system recognizes rest. So if you're someone who feels safer when the world goes quiet, when the lights dim, when expectations fade, there's nothing strange about that. It's simply how your system finds balance. I'm curious, do you feel more at ease at night when everything slows down? Or does your sense of safety arrive at a different time entirely? Share your experience in the comments. Because sometimes, night isn't something to fear.
Sometimes it's where some of us finally feel at home.